What's happening, legends? Welcome back to the Becoming Reborn podcast today. Today we are joined by the one and only big friendly Patrick.
Hello, Travis.
And you got our topic for the day,
Yeah.
our question for the day.
It's great to be here.
It's short and sharp, isn't it?
It is a short and sharp question, and it is, what do you train for? And it's not just a smack bang right now to the person listening, what do you train for? It's us talking about a bit of the evolution of what we have noticed in the last 10 to 15 years in the fitness industry about what people generally train for and how that's changed over the years. So Travis, let's rewind back to 18, 19, 20-year-old Travis, when you first started your first gym, Keep It Young. And what was the premise behind that gym? What type of people were you attracting, and what did people train for?
Look, I think it's two-part answer, because it was obviously my generation, like my age group, but it's also like what people were training for back then versus what they are training for now. But it is like partly as well because of how what my age was. But it was all about the physical appearance. It was all about, for the girls, I want to be toned tummies. There was a thing back then called box gap. Yeah, I'll let you guys figure that out. I'll Google it. You're welcome. And then for the boys, it was six packs, big arms, like those types of things, big chest. Yeah, Mondays was just it was church. You know what I mean? Like no one missed. You're bouncing your biddies right now. Yeah, well done.
Whatever.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Anyways, but yeah, Mondays would be huge with the boys. Like I remember we used to have this 4 p.m. big boys group. And on Mondays, there'll be anywhere between 25, 30, maybe even 40 boys there.
And what were you doing? What kind of exercises? And how many girls were in that session?
0. And then legs day was on Tuesday. 3 or 4 boys. It's kind of how it went.
The rest of it was girls?
Yeah, it's all
to be honest, that kind of stuff is still very applicable right now.
But yeah, everything back then was purely appearance. And back then, if you ran more than like a K, you were a runner.
It's like, what?
What are you doing? You are you're a psychopath. Yeah. If you're going running, you're a psychopath. There was a very distinct difference between people that were runners. Like I didn't even know anyone that was runners back then. And then compared to like what the average style of training was. And pretty much all boys did was just do 45 minutes to 60 minutes of weights. And I don't even remember doing any other conditioning other than footy training. Now that I think about it.
Maybe a 7-minute ab finisher.
Always. There wasn't a Keep It Young class that didn't have an ab finisher in it.
Love it.
Yeah.
Unless you're going to get a 6-pack.
Of course.
You don't get them in the kitchen. You get them by doing sit-ups.
You just do heaps of them. 7 minutes every time.
So part of this obviously is the fact that it was kind of 15 to 20 years ago, and that's what we're getting at. Also, part of it was that, I guess, 2 things here. First of all, the age demographic of people that you were training, and myself with my business was training at the same time, which is very similar to what you were just talking about then, is you've got people between 18 to 25.
Yeah.
But also on top of that is, I've always been a firm believer in you attract what you are, especially when running a gym. The type of person that the gym owner is and portrays attracts that same type of person. And we've seen that through the last 15 years as we have progressed and developed and evolved as a person and gone from a 20-year-old trying to do his best with the female population to a dad of 3 in their late 30s, which is us right now.
You said
and who
that
you
really
attract.
funny. That was really good. Well done. You just threw it in there.
Yeah, it obviously wasn't me. Anyway, so part of it is you attracting the person that you are, and the person that you were when you were 20 is much different to the person you are in your late 30s.
Yeah, but I know we're going to get to this, but it's just a whole new world now.
Isn't it?
Whole new world.
How has that world evolved? So obviously with you having your journey of addiction and going to rehab and then coming back and kind of flipping the narrative around what people train for, starting up the new gym Reborn, which instead of being about the aesthetic physical goals, it was then more about
the mental health. So that was like our big change, our big shift for Reborn was like Keep Young was all about the big arms, the 6-packs, the tone tummies and the box gap. Reborn was a gym that I wanted people to train for their mental health because I always looked physically good. I was always like in shape, so to speak. But mentally, like I was struggling because of my addiction. So then when I flipped and I started training for my mental health, it just changed everything. And then it wasn't like I was going there and I had to bench press X amount of weight, or I had to do a session that was going to be this hard. Like there was some days where I could just go and just move my body, and that would be enough because it would make me feel better. And that was what I was doing. I remember just coming home from rehab and just going to the gym end on end every single day, and it didn't matter what I did. I was just moving. Now the biggest difference I've seen now with the new generation and the new world is 90% of people are training for like to get into a good routine, but for their mental health. And it's not just at Reborn. I'm not just saying everyone at Reborn's doing that. Like Reborn, we push for that, and then a lot of our members do. But a lot of other gyms have the same type of members that are training for their mental health. And that doesn't mean like everyone's got mental health problems, but it just makes them feel good, is what I'm saying. And then the next thing is the generation. So I actually was in locker rooms yesterday, and Roscoe and T were in there. How old are those boys? 25?
Yeah, that'd be between 25 and 30.
So those boys were in there, and I know like my mates, I was sober from when I was 26, 27. So it's around this age, but my mates then were certainly not giving up the piss.
No way.
And not these boys weren't either. But what I've found and heard many times in the past, 3 or 4 years, is like these boys were talking about what they were doing the next day, and T was like, "Oh, I'm just doing 21." Just 21 kilometers, you know what I mean? Like that stuff didn't exist.
No way.
And you see it on the weekends now on like a Sunday, group of like 6 or 7 boys running down the street at 5 a.m. with their shirt off, going for like half marathons. Bruh.
That never happened when we were in our 20s.
I was walking down the street with my shirt off, but I wasn't going for a half
marathon.
Yeah, nice, Chavo. And it was at 5 a.m. too.
Yeah.
It's just a completely different world now.
Yeah, so that's the big society shift. When we were in our early to mid-20s, 10 to 15 years ago, what people of our age were doing then, and now what people still of that age, but 10 or 15 years later, are doing now. You mentioned it when you went down to Wollongong like last year or like 18 months ago. What was that like? So
I remember I went down there for our boys' trial for Wollongong, and we were watching Cookie as well.
So you stayed down there?
We stayed down there because Cookie was on the Saturday, and then the boys were playing on the Sunday. And I remember thinking, I need to get up and train the gym. I hate hotel gyms; they always suck. But this gym wasn't even open at the time I wanted to train. I was with Thomas and Ace actually, and we went downstairs, and it was 5-ish, like it would have been 5:15 at the latest. And I was coming down the stairs of the Novotel, and the beach is right there. And I would have seen like 30, 40 blokes finishing a run. Not starting a run at 5:15, finishing a run.
On a Sunday morning.
Sunday morning. And like I was just blown away. And the cafe was open. I'm like,
this
definitely didn't exist back when I was that. And that was it, right?
That was the moment.
That was the moment I was like, this is before Shahaba, and this is like, we need to get down here. Because like that whole new generation, there was no one there above 25.
Wow.
No one. Like it was pretty cool. Me and Ace and Thomas were doing shuttles on the little grass patch there, like in front of all these people. And I was like, we'd be down there by ourselves, but like it was packed. And what it made me realize, and this just keeps coming up in my life at the moment, is that run clubs and gyms, they're the new nightclubs. That's the reality of it now. And I love that. I love that for our kids. Like, I know for myself growing up, my dad was always the fittest dad I knew. And I honestly don't remember seeing my dad train more than like once or twice a week. Like we had a gym set downstairs. You go down there.
I reckon he'd be big push-ups and sit-ups guy.
Oh, yeah. Paddy, he loved a good push-up and sit-up. I still remember.
Get rid of all that fancy equipment shit. I'll do it on my own body weight. I'll do 100.
Paddy.
10 sets.
You know my dad.
Yeah, very well.
Push-ups, sit-ups, dips, chin-ups. Yeah. That's what we did.
No legs.
Nah, 0.
Stupid.
What the hell's legs? And I still remember we did 4 sets of 20 of everything, and that was the routine. And we had like this little routine. There was me, my brother, my dad, and then every now and then Luke would have a mate that would come over and we'd train together. But my dad was the fittest that I knew, and I reckon.
And that was out of the ordinary.
Once or twice a week would be like
max.
Now, our kids, they don't see us miss a day. And that's where the generation's going to now. Everyone trains. Like Saturdays and Sundays used to be like no one would train.
Yeah.
Our busiest time of the gym for the gym through the week is Saturday morning.
6 a.m.
And is jammed. Like it's too much.
I can't fit any more people in there.
I love that for us.
Yes.
Paddy, what's your thoughts on the big society shift over the last? It's probably been in the last 5 years, I reckon. COVID. Probably.
Yeah. Like you said, love it.
Mm.
And what I think is a lot of, so I'm still having a lot of conversations with people that are looking to join the gym. And it's funny, 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago, 9 out of 10 people, it was
Get fit,
they wanted
tone up.
well, it was weight loss, right?
Yeah.
And it was like I want to lose weight and I want to lose X number of kilos and I want to look like this. And now it is more around I want to train because of the impacts it has on the rest of my life. And that's kind of like what we do it for.
Quick question: you do all our, or not all? You do majority of our sales calls, or a lot of them. Breaky does all of them actually, but do you still get the initial start of the conversations where it's like, oh, I just really love to get fit, lose weight, and then tone up a bit?
Yeah.
Is it still there?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it still is.
Oh, that's cool. All right, we'll go
But I
with
think
now.
I'm probably a bit better now at asking questions that don't just have that throw off answer. Like
that was it. That was the
answer. Like a line of, let's say it's March right now. Let's say 6 months time, say around like September, October time. What do you want to be different in your life to now? That isn't going to get fit, lose weight, tone up. The questions I was asking previously were like, all right, what do you want to achieve from going to the gym? Get fit, lose weight, tone up.
Yeah.
Now the questions are more around like, okay, in your life, what do you want to be different? Oh, like I want to be able to wake up earlier. I want to have more energy. I want to finish work and go home and like feel energetic and like I want to take my kids for a bike ride instead of like coming home and just having a slump on the lounge because I'm exhausted. Things like that.
Yeah.
I want to be able to sleep better and all of those kinds of things. So they're now the main reasons why when I'm talking to people, the reasons that they train. People know now, and often a lot of them have experienced it, is I want to train first thing in the morning, train at 5 a.m. I start work at 6:30, train at the gym, shower, head straight to work. And then I've got the mental clarity, I've got the focus, I've got the concentration. I'm a better worker, I'm a better employee, I'm a better husband or wife, I'm a better parent to my kids, I'm a better friend. All of those positive impacts in someone's life is what are the main reasons people train.
And the premise of all of that is people want to train to perform better, but not necessarily fitness performance.
No, correct.
Life performance.
Yeah,
that's the big change. And it's so much more rewarding too, because now, like, you're not worried about the number on the scales, which, we know can fluctuate from any given reason. But if you're training for your performance in your life, it's rewarding every day.
Absolutely. And the funny thing is, I remember a few years ago, a line I often used was when people join the gym, they originally join because they want to change how they look, and they stay because they want to change how they feel. Now they're skipping that first bit. Like they're not joining because of how they want to change how they look. They already know now that they are training because of how it makes them feel.
And Paddy, what's the byproduct of training?
You look good.
Yes, come on.
So it's like we're now training for how it makes us feel, but the side effect is we look good.
Oh, you're so welcome for that.
And one thing though I want to say is, this is what I kind of tempted to before about a little bit of vulnerability is, and I've wanted to write an email about this for a while. I just don't know how to word it, is that I train because of how it makes me feel. But, and a lot of people kind of say that and go, I don't really care how I look. And I kind of go, you know what? Like, call me a wanker if you want. I actually really enjoy how I look and the confidence that I get from that because of how I train. And that's something that's like a bit of a taboo subject because it's like, oh, you're a dickhead if you say that. But I'm happy to be fully transparent and own it. The confidence that I get from how I look because of the consistent training, I thrive on that. And I'm a big confidence person. I know when I'm confident and in a good place, I perform well and I'm a better person. So how my body looks and how I feel about it positively impacts my life. So if people say, oh no, I don't train because of how I look, I own that. yeah, I train because of how it makes me feel, but I also train because of how it makes me look, and I love that.
It's a great byproduct.
And I'm happy to own that.
Yeah.
And I know a lot, I think a lot of people would to themselves say that, but they're not going to say that publicly because there'd be a bit of shame in that, and people think you're a wanker.
No, I don't think you're a wanker. I think
I'm talking to the wrong person though, because
Yeah.
we're both very self-aware and have got similar attitudes around that.
Yeah, it's fantastic. It's like you want you want something that you're proud of, right?
Absolutely.
Like yeah, I want to look good. Like for me, because like you said, it gives you confidence, which is great. But also get your role model for your kids. Like you want your wife to think you're a stud too.
And
You're welcome, Chloe.
I'm going to go, yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Far
Danny
out our
and
wives
Chloe,
are lucky.
Wow.
Oh, but you know what? I'm going to take this step
dickheads.
further. And I
We just
know,
went for wankers.
yeah, I know how much you're going to agree with me on this. Is I love when the boys gas me up. 100%. I love it.
Gas each other up
And
so
and you know
much,
the
too.
funny thing, I remember us having this conversation, Travis, where we both have a similar opinion where it's like our wives like get dressed up and glam on the makeup and look incredible. And I say this to my wife and you say the same thing to Chloe, is that like I actually prefer you without makeup because I think you are naturally beautiful. And I hand on my heart, and that isn't like
What made
me
say?
buttering it up. Like that is truly what I believe. And when she gets really dressed up, I'm like, you don't like have to do that. And like, you don't have to do that for me. And Danny goes, no, I'm not doing it for you. Like she tells me straight up, I'm not doing it for you. And I'm like, oh, okay. Like thought we were married and all that, but whatever. And she says that like, she often does it she'll put a nice dress on because like for other girls, because of like how they then will comment on each other.
Girls.
And I remember like you saying that to me and going like, I just don't get it. Like, why the hell do girls like dress for other girls? And then I went, Trav, when you're in the gym, like on a Sunday morning and doing weights and you got a singlet on and like you walk then into the other room and there's 5 of us in there and I go, Travis, oh my God, your arms look incredible. And then you went, oh my God, I get it now. I'm training for the boys.
Yeah.
I get it. And I like how the boys talk about me and gas me up. That's the same as our wives wearing a nice dress and doing their hair and getting the makeup on. And the girls go, oh, you look so beautiful. That's the same thing.
Yeah, but a lot of times those girls don't even mean it.
I know. I was just going to get that.
Each other's back, but that's a whole nother podcast.
Yeah.
That
I mean it
we genuinely mean it.
If I tell you how good you look, you know that I mean it. So we got a little sidetrack there. feel like we've almost come around in a full circle. We're going back to Keep It Young days.
Yeah, we are. We are. But it is the performance aspect of why we train is a huge part of everyone's lifestyle now, which I love.
Absolutely.
And we've been trying to push the mental health side of things and also the performance side of things in terms of your training. But now that it's almost like they're one.
Yeah.
Like it's like performance for your life, performance for how you train, and then your mental health. It's all one thing now, which is fantastic. Would you like to add anything more to our podcast?
Well, I think the biggest thing on that, guys, is you forget how many benefits come from regular exercise, and whether you're not exercising at all or you're exercising a lot, you're often in a routine and you don't know what life is like on the other side. Right now, Trav, you don't remember what it's like and how you feel when you just don't exercise at all, right? No. You don't. And there's people that currently don't exercise and they've constantly got brain fog and they feel like shit and their sleep's horrible and they crave a lot of other things. They don't know what it's like to exercise consistently. So wherever you are, you often forget what it's like on the other side. But keep in mind and remember how many benefits there are to exercise. You could literally make a list that is bigger than what you can read of the physical, mental, emotional, spiritual benefits of exercise. Don't forget that because it's so important. And it's very easy for us to just take things for granted if you are exercising consistently.
Well done, Patrick. Great finisher.
Thank you.
Have a great day.
Yeah, I really will.
You look great, by the way.
So do you.
Thank you. Appreciate
your
it.
arms
Love
look
you guys.
great.
Peace.